Hey guys, Bradley here from Armour Detail Supply, and today we're back with another exciting video. We are gonna go over everything you need to know about how to decontaminate your car, whether you're going into a polishing and ceramic coating like I am, or you're just trying to do some routine maintenance, doing it every 6 to 12 months to make sure your car stays contamination free and you're not letting those nasty contaminants build up and start to ruin the overall look and appearance and feel of your paint job and all of the other surfaces on your car. So as always with any sort of wash process, it starts with the wheels first. So let's jump right into it. As always, the first part of the wash process is always going to be the wheels. Now I'm doing a more decontamination style wash on these wheels because I'm going into a ceramic coating process on these wheels. Now, if you're not doing that and you don't need to do a crazy deep clean on your wheels, feel free to just go forward with your normal wheel cleaning process that you love to do and you'll be totally fine. But if you're going into a ceramic coating like me, or you just want to do a more routine decon and really deep clean on your wheels, follow this process and you're going to be good to go. So I like to start by pre-rinsing the wheels first. Really just going to help dislodge any of that loose debris and you can get up into those wheel well areas. First thing I like to do is get my chemicals on the wheels because a lot of these chemicals are going to need some time to dwell. So I start with Clean, our APC, at a 4:1 dilution, and this is my wheel well pre-treat. This basically will just get up into the wheel wells and really start breaking down any of that dirt and grime, especially if you're in a northern state where you've got like salt and just really nasty roads during the winter. This is really going to help pre-treat and kind of loosen some of that stuff up. Here, we're in Florida, we deal with a lot of sand on our roads from the beach and construction and things like that. So this will really start to break down all that muck that gets up under these wheel wells that generally you don't see unless you have a truck or something like that. Then I go in with our wheel cleaner because this is the one that needs the most amount of time to dwell. Again, I'm using the wheel cleaner because I'm doing a decontamination style prep for this. This has an iron remover built in. It's more of a deep cleaner. This is totally safe to use as well on these are carbon ceramics. Carbon ceramics typically don't need these as often because they're not producing a ton of iron related brake dust, but you're still getting that iron related brake dust from other cars just driving through the road and things like that. So when you're doing a decontamination style process, this wheel cleaner is great because it's really, really powerful and it's going to break down those iron particles that would come from other people's cars in this case, or your own brake system that just produces a ton of iron filings and brake dust. So I like to just spray this on in the barrels first. You'll see it has a nice foaming action. You can spray the calipers and then spray the wheel face and just get that all nice and worked in. It's a nice gel consistency, so it'll stick and start to really break that stuff down. A couple minutes dwell time on this is really good to really start breaking down that dirt and grime. And then I've got our tire cleaner, and this is specifically for the tires. It's gonna start to remove all this old dressing that's on here, remove any brown tire blooming, and really just kind of strip the tire ready for a new layer of dressing. This is diluted 2:1, our standard tire cleaner dilution. And I just go ahead and pre-treat those tires and get that starting to break that stuff down. Then in my bucket, I do like to use a bucket of water with my wheel cleaning process. I know a lot of people maybe don't use a bucket and they'll just rinse out their tools between use. You can do that as well. I've always used a bucket of water, and then I have like an ounce or two of our Decon soap in here, really just like a little squirt, just to give it some extra cleaning power and mostly help clean off your tools as you dunk them in there. So I'm just gonna fluff those up a bit, fluff that up so I get some foam going in the bucket, just something I like to do. And then my extra step that I love to do is I have our Decon soap diluted 3 ounces to the full foam cannon, which is usually the heavy dilution that we suggest in the foam cannon. And I like to, once this has had a minute or so to dwell, I like to go ahead and foam over the wheels and the tires. And what that's going to do is, again, it's Decon soap, so it's going to start to further break down that dirt and grime. You can really start to see it, kind of back in here in these wheel wells. You start to see a lot of that dirt come off. You're starting to see the iron, particles breaking down with a lot of that purple and red colored foam. And it really just gave me a nice blanket of foam to, safely clean the wheels, because it's giving you that lubrication, kind of giving you that cushion between the dirt and the grime, adding some more surfactants in there to really help break that down and just make it a safer wheel cleaning process. From there, I'm going in with our Detail Factory brushes, but really any brush, set that you like. This is a barrel brush, and this really just helps me get all the way in behind this caliper. It's the perfect size because it's kind of this thin structure and gets perfect behind the brake rotor, fits in perfectly behind the caliper back here, and just makes it a really nice process to get that barrel of the wheel. Because again, this is the dirtiest part of your wheel typically is the barrel. That's the part you want to pay the most attention to, especially during your decon process, because that might be the area that either the previous owner or maybe you have neglected a little bit more, or the current owner of the car, and that typically needs more work to clean up and decontaminate from all the brake dust etching that might have occurred in the barrel of the wheel. From there, I grab our little 4-finger wheel mitt that we use for wheels and tires. Fits perfectly on your hand, and really is just like having a towel perfectly attached to your fingers, and you can get in all around these areas. You can use your finger up in the mitt to get in the corners of the spokes. You can get in behind the spokes. So this is the perfect type of wheel mitt for wheel cleaning, and something that I really love. These little wheel mitts have completely changed how I treat wheels and tires. Is just so much easier than using brushes to clean all the intricacies of the wheels. These aren't super intricate, but when you get into some of those BMW style wheels where they've got like 19 spokes, it seems like these really come in handy to kind of get in everywhere. And even with this, I can even get into a lot of this caliper area back here. So I don't even need to use a separate brush for that. I can really get into most of these areas. From there, I don't have a lug nut area on this one because it's a big center lock. Typically you'd grab your lug nut brush and maybe get into the lug nut areas. From there, I grab our tire brush, also from Detail Factory. You can see the tire cleaner as well as the Decon soap starting to break down some of that grease and grime. You can see it starting to turn brown, and then the foam, then the tire brush scrub. When you're scrubbing your tires, you want to kind of treat it like you do when you brush your teeth. You don't want to just kind of one scrub around like this. When you brush your teeth, you're doing small, little scrubs. That is the best way to agitate and really clean those tires. Not only getting the face of the tire, I like to get a little bit into the tread, and then I also get into the lip here between the bead and the rim of the wheel. And then there you go. The whole wheel is clean. If you have a really dirty set of wheel wells, you can get in here with your wheel well brush as well and kind of get up into all of these areas. Luckily for us, this is mostly just sand, so it'll, with the clean APC and the clean with the clean APC and a pressure rinse, most of that will come right out. So now we can go ahead and just rinse this off, and that is the whole wheel decontamination process, removing the iron, removing all the dirt and grime, and this will be ready to go into a clay bar step if you're doing your coating, or you just have a really nice clean wheel after this process. The wheels are all finished, so now we're ready to get to the body of the car. Now I'm working on a car that is not super dirty, so I'm gonna go right into just pre-rinsing with water. If you have a car that's really dirty, maybe you're doing this after winter and you've just got all that winter grime, or you just have something that's caked in mud, or just something that's really dirty, what you can do is, instead of going right into the rinse, you can actually grab your foam cannon full of Decon soap, leave the car dry, foam that on, give it some time to break that down, and then rinse. You're gonna get a lot more of that dirt off first, and then it's gonna be a lot easier as you go through the process. But again, this car's not very dirty, so I'm going right into the rinse step. Now that the initial rinse is done, now I'm going into my Decon soap step. So I am using our Armour Detail Supply Decon soap in the foam cannon as well as in the wash bucket. This is diluted 3 ounces into this full 32-ounce container, which is our higher, stronger dilution that we can use for this kind of decontamination process. Don't be scared about this Decon soap. You can use this whether you're doing what I am and prepping for a ceramic coating, trying to kind of remove some of the protection and really prep the car. And you can also use this during your decon step if you have a good sealant or you have a great ceramic coating. This isn't going to strip anything super strong like that, but it is going to strip some of your detail sprays and some of your very light polymer sealants and things like that, so that you can get back to a fresh surface. And it's also going to help strip a lot of that grime and really just be a heavier wash to get you that really clean surface, so you can go into your next prep steps and get a really nice decon. So as you can see, when I'm foaming on the Decon soap, I'm just kind of painting the car in foam. I'm not going crazy or anything like that. Really just a nice fan spray pattern, really just kind of getting every surface covered in that foam so that it can dwell, start to break down some of that dirt and grime, and give you that nice lubrication on the surface for when we go in with our contact wash. I'm putting a couple ounces of our Decon soap into my wash bucket as well, using this for the contact wash. This is also about 2 ounces in there is really all you need. But this is a great foam, pre-soak, as well as in the bucket. We formulated this so you can use it in both steps. So it has great lubrication. It's not too heavy stripping where your hands are gonna get screwed up by using it, or it's gonna be too heavy to where it's like really stripping paint and seals and things like that. This is a nice, gentle, just really great pre-treat and heavier cleaner that can be used in the bucket. Great lubrication, super safe for your contact, and super safe for your pre-soak. From there, I can't go without some foam in my bucket, so go ahead with that. And then I'm using a nice Rag Company microfiber wash mitt, but you can use any wash mitt that you like. I typically prefer these kind of microfiber with the wool hybrid mitts. They seem to hold the suds the best. You really just make it a super frictionless surface or wash experience, and really just traps the grime and releases it the best. But if you like a chenille mitt or something like that, go ahead and use whatever you like in this process. From there, we're doing our typical two bucket hand wash. So I like to just start top down, straight line motions. We're not doing any crazy heavy pressure. If you have some, really stubborn spots like tree sap, or you have some, bugs or something crazy like that, you can go ahead and, kind of put a little bit of pressure and get those parts off. But for the most part, just a nice, simple, easy process to wash the car. The Decon soap is going to do a lot of that work for you, so you really shouldn't have to scrub too hard or anything like that. And this is really just getting us our base clean, getting that paint clean, getting all these surfaces clean, free of debris, so that we can go in with our next steps, which is really where the decontamination starts to happen with our clay bar or our synthetic clay mitts, and really getting this paint to feel super smooth. Because right now, when I feel, even though I just washed this, it has a little bit of a bumpy kind of sandpaper type feel. If you feel that on your paint, that is the key to know that you need to do a decontamination. So that's why you need to follow this process. When I'm washing the sides of the car, I typically like to stop right about the door area here. And then what I do is I leave these rockers under the rockers, front and rear bumpers, for last. Those are the dirtiest parts of the car, so you don't want to be pulling dirt from there into some of the other areas of the car, which could lead to, swirls or marring or scratching. So I leave those areas to last, hit those at the end, or you can even use a separate wash mitt for those areas if you like, and that'll be a super clean process. After you finish the whole contact wash with the Decon soap, you can go ahead and just rinse all that off, get all that soap residue off, get all that dirt and grime that was loosened up off the car so that we can go into our next steps. Alrighty, so the next part of the process we need to talk a little bit about because there's quite a few options that you can go to here. So we're getting into really the nitty gritty of the decontamination, which is where we start using our iron removal chemical, which is our chemical side of our decontamination. And then you have your mechanical side of your decontamination, where you can use really one of two objects. You can use a synthetic clay media, which is the newer style. These came out, maybe 10 years ago. They started coming to the surface. This is basically a polymerized rubber. They come in many different forms, from towels to mitts to little blocks like this. And basically what this rubber will do is pull off those little contaminants that are stuck on the paint that won't come off with a wash, that need basically a slightly sticky surface to pull off or almost shave off the contamination from the surface. Or you can go with the tried and true old school method. These have been out for probably 100+ years. This is a clay bar, a true clay bar. This is the Rag Company Ultra Clay Bar. It's basically a specialized clay type of putty, which you can pull off just little small pieces, and you'll run over the car's paint surfaces and glass surfaces with this, and it will do the same job of basically extracting out those contaminants that are stuck onto the paint that won't come off with your traditional wash. Now, a couple things to note. Clay bars, typically, even mild ones, they come in different various forms of aggressiveness, mild, medium, heavy. Even the milder ones can have a tendency to leave a little bit more marring or slight swirl marks in the finish versus your synthetics. These are typically all more mild, medium style of clays, and they're a little bit safer. They're not gonna leave as much marring. So if you're going into a process where you're not polishing afterwards, I typically recommend 100% going with the synthetic style of clay. If you really just got a nasty, nasty car, something that hasn't been clay barred in a really, really long time, you've got a lot of orange, kind of rust spots starting to build up, or you've got just a lot of tree sap gunk or, any of that sort of stuff, go with the clay bar, because this is going to get you the best removal and it's going to do it in the shortest amount of time. Typically what I like to say is your traditional clay bars are going to get 95 to 100% of the contamination, and it's going to come off pretty easily. With your synthetic clay mitts, you're gonna get 80 to 85%, but it's a really, really fast process. It makes it super, super easy, and it's just really convenient in this kind of format. So in this case, I'm gonna go with the synthetic clay mitt, but now you guys know the differences and when and where to use each. So now let's get into the actual process. So there's a couple options here as well, depending on what you like to do. I'm gonna go with DJ's preferred method first, and then I'm gonna show you my preferred method afterwards. DJ's method is grabbing our iron remover. This is going to remove those iron particles, those little rust spots, really start to break those down so that the clay media can pull them off a lot easier. What you can do is use these in conjunction with each other. So you can use this as your clay bar lubricant and then go ahead with your synthetic clay right over it, and you're gonna be good to go. Our iron remover has a lot of lubrication in it, and it's super safe to use with the clay bar and isn't gonna break these down. Simple thing to do is just spray it onto the surface. Work in smaller sections at a time. Don't try to work the whole car at one time. Then basically just go right on through and slow back and forth movements. Now with clay bar or your synthetic clay mitts, you don't want to put pressure. They work off of friction, and friction in speed, not friction in force. So smaller, faster movements is the best way to get that contamination removed. And you'll instantly start to feel that it starts off a little, kind of grabby. You can kind of feel those contamination spots, and it'll start to get really, really smooth. And you can see, look how this is gliding with the iron remover as your clay lube. It is the perfect way to go ahead and do that. And then as you go through the car, this will start to pick up a lot of grime. You can go right into your wash bucket, give it a nice rinse out, and you're ready to keep going through the rest of the car. Now we're gonna go into my preferred method because it's a bit faster. You can kind of work the whole car at a time if you're working in ideal conditions. So I have our iron remover just decanted into this large container. Makes it easier to spray over the whole car really quickly. So what I can do is spray the whole hood at one time. I can give that a minute or so to dwell. Typically, while you're just going around and spraying the whole car, that gives it plenty of time to dwell. And then what I like to do, which is kind of the Bradley special method, or the extra special sauce, is grabbing your Decon soap that you've been using. You'll likely have some already left in the cannon from using it throughout the rest of the process. I will go through, quick foam over the top. What that does is give me great dwell time. So I have that iron remover on the surface. Now I have that Decon soap giving me a really nice dwell time, so I can let that sit while I do the whole car. It's also giving me even more cleaning power during the clay process with that Decon soap, in case some of that, that contamination is a little bit more stubborn. And it gives me even more lubrication because I have the great lubrication from the Decon soap on the surface. So now I can basically just do the same process and work this whole hood, or work a whole side of a car at a time. Or if you're in great ideal conditions, you can go ahead and work the whole car at one time. The biggest thing is just make sure you're looking, using your eyes. If you start to see stuff drying too much, then stop, rinse that area off, and keep on going. Keep everything wet and just don't let it dry, and you'll be good to go. This is what I would consider the safest process because you have lubrication from iron, lubrication from the Decon soap. So this is gonna really make sure that you're putting in the least amount of marring potential possible. But again, both methods work really, really great and combine two steps, what used to be two steps of the process, chemical and mechanical, into one super easy process. So I'm gonna go through, get that whole vehicle clay bar done, get all the contamination off. You'll start to see that really, kind of feel that super baby smooth, baby's butt smooth surface. That's what you're looking for. So really you can go through and just kind of feel everything, make sure you got all that contamination off. And when you have, you're good to go, and we can just go ahead and rinse this off. Now that the car is fully rinsed off, you have a fully decontaminated surface. It should be really, really clean. You've gone pretty crazy cleaning all the surfaces, as well as doing that clay bar process with the iron remover. It's gonna be really nice, smooth, basically back to as fresh as you can get that paint, other than polishing. So now the only step to do is dry the surface. I have a garage right behind us, so I'm gonna do my thing, pull this thing inside. I'm gonna be able to dry inside, finish up, get it all nice and dialed in, ready for me to start polishing. So let's go ahead, get it inside. Now that the car is pulled inside, the only step left to go, at least for me, is drying the vehicle, because I'm going into a polishing step. Now, you can use this process no matter what you're doing. Maybe you're doing an annual maintenance on your ceramic coating and you wanted to get it decontaminated and you get a lot of the contamination off. You can do a similar process to me, dry it, maybe go into our phobic spray coating, or maybe you go into our ceramic spray sealant, depending on how long you've had that coating going. Or maybe you just have a car that you just picked up and you're just trying to decontaminate it and maybe get a sealant down or a wax down. You can go ahead and dry the car and go right into your sealant, go right into your wax. Now, if you're doing a similar process to me and you're one of those that just really absolutely has to use a drying aid because you're scared you might leave some marring without using one, and you want something that has no protection, and you can do, whether you're going into our phobic spray coating or going into polishing or anything of that sort, you can grab our Hero, dilute this really anywhere from 256:1 to 64:1. You can spray this on the surface as your drying aid, and then you can go through and dry the surface. This is going to basically leave no protection, or no protection that wouldn't be able to be removed with your panel prep or your polishing process, and give you that nice lubrication that you're looking for your drying aid process. During this whole step, I love to use our big drying towels, because you have just decontaminated the surface, so it's likely that you have a lot of water parked on the surface, not as easily blown off because it might not be previously ceramic coated or protected. So the nice large, super large drying towels make this really just a nice easy process. You can drag dry, you know, like that. You can, you know, kind of do what I do, which is more so just like normal drying process and kind of going like this. Really anything will work to get the surface off. This is a super thirsty towel and great for this process. Alrighty guys, the decon process is all finished up on this Porsche behind me, and I really hope you guys were able to learn something about the decon process. We used quite a few products in this videos from our line, but we have made it easier for you. We do have a specially curated package, which is called our decontamination package on our website. It has everything you need and everything I used in this video in that package. It's a one-click buy for you to be able to know you have everything you need to follow this process and get your car decontaminated. Thank you guys for sticking with us through this video. If you guys learned something throughout this video, we'd really appreciate it if you guys hit the like button. It would mean the world to us, and subscribe if you like this type of content. Now it's time for you guys to get out there, give the decontamination process a try, and have some fun detailing.